Well, as usual, we're running late, and it probably wouldn't take 3 guesses to figure out why we were late to PRI Friday morning. Miss Vicky was adamant that today was going to be a good hair day, regardless of the weather. So instead of parking at our usual spot, I went ahead and dropped her off at the front of the convention center so that she didn't get her hair wet.
Thank you.
And I could stay out of the doghouse. At least she remembered her past before she got out of the car. She scurried off inside while I drove around the block to find some place to park, and then we all met up at the mailing booth inside. And I just so happened to run into the Andrade family while I was there, and Vicky, well, she ran into something else.
Complimentary melon chapstick and chocolate. My favorite booth so far.
After Vicky raided the candy dish, we headed over to the Iski booth to check in with Nolan. I've got to be here at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I wanted to make sure I knew where to go. Anyway, Nolan was staying pretty busy. He had a number of people coming up and asking questions about problems that they're having, and he was explaining to them what they can do and how to correct the situation, right down to telling them what oil and what part numbers they need. I said goodbye to Nolan and I went back over to the Nitrous Express booth to get my autograph from Limpy himself. He asked what color I'd like and I said, both of them. One of Limpy's famous expressions. After I got my two-toned autograph from Limpy, I hung out and talked to some people until Jimmy Dale showed up.
Hey man, let me show you how to drive this damn thing, boy. Look, get in here like this. Get in here like this. You just hang back like that, see?
This is Uncle Jimmy Dale, my contact at Nitrous Express. Somehow his slightly unorthodox sales tactics have lured me in. And now here I am stuck with this guy at PRI, signing autographs and listening to him tell me how to drive my car.
You hang back like that, you just put that in drive and let it do its thing, $700 for it. Get your little Mob Deep on there, get your doobie going. They should.
This is scandalous.
They should. Man,
Scandalous.
What are the keys to this thing? Let's bang this bitch through the motor real quick.
After that, we headed over to the ATM booth, and I got to meet somebody I've looked up to for a very long time. Mr. Gary Williams, a very good client and customer of ATM. They supply Gary with a lot of parts that he uses to custom build his carburetors. And then I got word some famous people wanted to get their picture taken with my Malibu. Uncle Bob, Brittany Automotive, and Boosted GT. So I had to go over and visit with Boosted for a few minutes and check out his Mustang at the Red Horse booth. From Red Horse, I made a beeline over to the Trick Flow booth to check out a set of cylinder heads they'd been talking to me about for a few months, the Super 230s. These heads are intended to compete against the AFR 227s while using all standard 23-degree valve train components. My visit with the guys at Trick Flow wrapped up my Friday, and then Saturday morning, it was time for Vicky and I to head to the Iski booth for Nolan's famous 20 questions. We also wanted to talk a little bit about the camshaft in the Malibu, because Nolan is going to introduce that cam grind as a production grind under part number OMG79. I also wanted to introduce Nolan to Uncle Bob. Nolan was pretty excited to meet him after seeing all the work that we've done at his shop on my new 421, and especially after seeing all the attention to detail that Bob put into setting up the valve train geometry, the valve spring pressures, degreeing the cam, and checking piston to valve clearance. Nolan took the time to share some information with us that he'd learned from the flow bench and the Spintron back at Iski. Afterwards, we all took turns taking pictures with some of the people that came to meet us. And then Miss Brittany Automotive took Bob and I over to BTR to introduce us to Brian Tooley himself, to talk about some future LS projects on my channel, believe it or not. After that, we headed back to the Nitrous Express booth to say goodbye to everybody before they tear everything down.
Oh, so it stows in the top?
Yes, ma'am. The lights in the convention center dimmed, and they came over the loudspeaker and told everybody the show was over, it's time to go home. And that ended PRI 2022 for us. It was time to roll up the carpet, tear down the displays, and take all the cars out of the convention center. Now, if you would have told me a year ago that my channel would be doing as well as it is today, and that I'd have a car on display at PRI, I would have told you you're crazy. There's no way. But yet, here we are. In all honesty, I owe it to everybody that watches this channel for this opportunity, because without this many followers, subscribers, fans, and people that leave such nice comments, this most likely would not be possible. Vicki and I are so thankful for everybody that watches our channel and orders all the merchandise online. None of this would be possible without you guys. Anyhow, now that the show's over, it's time for me to turn this thing loose on the streets of downtown Indianapolis. After all, this is a street car, and I have no intentions of trailering this thing out of downtown. We cruised the old Malibu around downtown for a little bit and then headed straight for an E85 station to top off the fuel tank, where we ran into some die-hard fans all the way from Texas that just had to come and say hi. After that, it was time to head out towards the east side of downtown to meet up with Pete Walsh and his wife for dinner at Montana Mike's. Vicki and I wanted to treat them out to dinner as a way to say thank you for allowing us to store our trailer there at their shop. After we finished our meal, it was time to head back to Pete's house, hook the trailer up to the dually, and load the Malibu back up for its ride home to Ohio. We got it loaded up just in time before it started to rain. I can't say thank you to Pete and his family enough for all their hospitality and for the peace of mind knowing that if we had a problem, Pete and Sam would have been there in a heartbeat. Luckily, the trip back to Ohio was uneventful, at least until we got in the back door. The dogs had been missing us something terrible, and it took quite a while for them to calm down. But by Sunday morning, things were starting to get back to normal. I came downstairs and found the dogs in their normal positions, and Miss Vicki was in the kitchen making breakfast. And as much as I just wanted to kick back and relax all day, we really didn't have time for that. We've still got to get that trailer unloaded, and Vicki's got a bunch of emails to answer and inventory to take care of out in the shop. So while she's busy working on that stuff, I decided to go ahead and get the Malibu unloaded and get it brought inside so we can put it up on the lift and check everything out and see if we've got anything loose or leaking. Because after I left the convention center, that 45-minute drive out to Pete's house was the longest trip the car has made so far. Inevitably, there's going to be something that's loose or leaking, and I want to get that stuff taken care of so that we can get ready to go again somewhere and test this next weekend. Now, although we left last night, the kids stayed an extra night to watch a basketball game over in Indianapolis, so they were just getting back home Sunday afternoon. And then Monday morning, it was time to get that trailer returned to my friend and to go over the Malibu and check everything out. And sure enough, there was some exhaust leaks and a couple little things that needed to be tightened up underneath the car. It was also time for the new engine's first oil change, so Kenny took care of that for me while I started to ask Jeremy what he'd gotten done all week. So what did you accomplish while I was gone?
I got my garage cleaned out.
Oh, well that's nice.
It is. I got my blue truck moved down there too.
So last week, while I was gone, I basically paid you to clean up your own garage and move your junk off my property.
Yep. So what we have here is my 12,000 pound problem solver. I have here is a giant catastrophe. As soon as we moved in, I got no time to put nothing away. It's just been a race.
Jeremy's trying to get this shed cleaned out so he can put an S10 pickup truck in there. But first, he's got to get this safe down out of the rafters.
So we got strap and a 2x4, clevis, my winch cable, tow strap, and we're gonna give it hell and see what happens. Really, a dead battery?
Jeremy's own lack of maintenance has finally caught up with him.
Well, looky there, Jethro.
Now, the idea here is to get this safe out of there and get this shed cleaned up so he can get this blue S10 out of my backyard and put away.
No more sitting outside for you.
This little blue step-side S10 pickup truck is one of Jeremy's most prized possessions, second only to his 1936 chicken coop.
She's back home, under roof.
Once he had the S10 inside, his attention turned to inside the shop.
Fridge situation straightened out. Oh yeah.
New shop fridge? Check.
What we have here is electronics and drone repair center. I'm bringing another one back from the dead.
Unfortunately, all this drone footage in my videos comes at a cost.
Drone in a tree.
After all, accidents do happen, sometimes more often than I'd like to admit.
Corpse. survivor.
So I guess that's a Reader's Digest version of what Jeremy's been up to since I left for PRI. But this morning, I need him to go with me to help me take this trailer back and help entertain my associates who weren't taking no for an answer when I left the driveway. While Jeremy and I were returning the trailer, Kenny Powers was back at the shop changing the oil in the Malibu and getting some interior decorating done using the shadow box and the displays I had from PRI. Once we had the oil changed in the Malibu, all the leaks taken care of, and the exhaust system all tightened up, along with the header gaskets and the intake gaskets snugged down, it was time to back the Malibu back outside and get back on Mom and Dad's pickup truck project. Their 1980 C10 has manual brakes, and Dad would like to have power brakes installed on this thing before they start driving it. Now, at first, it would seem this would be a pretty straightforward and simple swap, but unfortunately, that's not exactly the case. You see, the push rod for power brakes and manual brakes is completely different. So that means Jeremy had to make a little trip up to Astro's Auto Salvage north of Granville off 661. Luckily, it didn't take Jeremy too long to find a good donor truck with the parts that he needs, especially since that truck already had the dash removed. So thankfully, we've already got all the parts gathered up. All we've got to do now is remove the manual master cylinder and install the power brake booster and the new push rod. Or at least, that's what we thought.
Some oil.
Unfortunately, the push rod pins are two entirely different diameters, so Jeremy calls down to Marks and tells him he needs a big drill bit, strong enough to drill through some extremely hardened steel.
A1 Auto Parts.
Mark was evidently having a really good day until Jeremy came in for this drill bit.
No, I didn't.
30 seconds.
I did not say I needed a donkey.
What? Oh, you had to go there, didn't you?
Evidently, Jeremy told Mark he needed a bigger drill bit than what he really needed. Luckily, Jeremy brought the push rod end down with him so they can take a more precise measurement.
And there's why you can't find anything.
Right. This was cleaned off.
You've been hanging around William too
Find
much.
My calipers. Where's my calipers? What'd you do?
You just had them.
I know, but I don't know what it did.
Oh my God. This is like working at Williams.
Poor old Mark's looking everywhere for these dial calipers.
Did you take them up front?
I might have taken my friend.
Wonder I can't get no parts. You can't find them.
So while Jeremy and Mark are down there trying to measure drill bits with calipers they can't find, I put in a call to Uncle Terry at Jegs to see if he's got some parts that I need to upgrade the fuel system on the Malibu. And according to Terry, they have everything I need in stock at 11th Avenue. So I crank up the heat in the Malibu, lock the converter in overdrive, and I start making my way to downtown Columbus for the new 421's very first drive into Jegs. When I pulled into the parking lot, I went ahead and popped the hood on the Malibu so Uncle Terry could come outside and take a look at what I've got, and he can compile a list of all the fittings that I need to replumb the fuel system for the nitrous the way I want it. I'm going to replace the Holley red pump with a blue, and I want to use a return style regulator instead of a deadhead that comes with the pump. So Terry gathered up all the fittings I need as well as all the parts, including an adjustable fuel pressure safety switch that will automatically shut the nitrous off in case I lose fuel pressure on the kit. Once Terry and I were certain that we had everything gathered up that I was going to need to do this swap, it was time to pay for my parts, bag everything up, and then head back towards the house in the Malibu. Hopefully by the time I get back, Kenny and Jeremy will have the power brake installation taken care of on Mom and Dad's truck, so I can bring the Malibu in the shop and get started on these fuel system upgrades. Unfortunately, when I got back, I found out that was definitely not the case. There's more problems, which means there's another trip to Mark's in store.
Where's your fearless leader at?
Fearless leader, you're needed.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
What do you want now?
Well, the fittings you gave me, I need that fitting with that size hole in it.
Whoa, that's a bigger hole.
That's what she said.
You couldn't drill that out? Whatever.
What?
Well, whatever.
Stop
It's
it.
right thread size. Give you everything almost right.
It's not the right thread size.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it's
I'll be
not.
Evidently, some of the fittings Mark had given Jeremy weren't quite right.
You didn't give me the right information or something.
It's your master cylinder.
Well,
Oh, I gave you the right information. All
you
right.
sure? I don't think you did.
Oh, I did.
That.
It's a miracle.
There. You're right.
30 miles later.
Is that the only one? Out of all that stuff I got you?
Yep.
Just one thing wrong.
Yep.
That ain't bad. I'm just thinking.
There's always
That's
just,
a win-win for me.
always just one thing.
Just because you had to come back again.
Yeah. You're gonna be walking home bow-legged.
You're working late too.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss my dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, not really.
Yeah, I know.
I make you miss your lunch. Mark makes you miss your dinner. We're on a roll over here.
Yeah, it's called Bucko's getting.
Obviously, with all these parts delays, it's not looking good for me to get the Malibu in the shop and actually get a video finished up tonight. It's a good damn thing I'm not paying you hourly.
Yeah, you talk to your fat little buddy. I pick him up fittings, I tell him what I want, and he gives me the same fitting I came in there with.
That's your fault.
How's that my fault?
You should have recognized.
He told me he had it figured out, handled by the expert chumpo.
So what do you got left to do now?
On this vacuum line in.
Then that's it?
That's it.
Good, because I need my Malibu back in here.
Oh, you and your Malibu.
All right, here we go. Uh-oh, wait a minute. You're not done. Oh, I knew you weren't done. The way I see it, the harder I kick Jeremy in the nuts, the harder he's going to kick Mark in the nuts. And that just makes for better content when he goes back down there to A1. Anyway, we finally got Mom and Dad's truck fired up and the brake job finished up. The only thing left to do is to take the truck around the block for a little test drive and make sure everything's okay. So me and my associates do just that. Now, according to the weather forecast, tomorrow is going to be the last nice day that we get for quite a while. So if Mom and Dad want to drive this truck, tomorrow's probably their last shot, at least for the near future. I just want to make sure when they come down to get in this thing, there aren't any problems with the brake system. Thankfully, the test drive went really well, the brakes feel perfect, and we can bring the Malibu back inside to get started on it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit late to get any of this work done on the car tonight and actually get a video finished up. All right, you're free to go now.
Oh, yay. To my next prison.
What prison?
Home.
Ooh.
Got tons of shit to do.
Says who?
Says the 2 dead drones laying on my workbench and a bunch of other shit I gotta put away.
Oh, I thought maybe you meant the warden.
No, she's alright so far.
What you doing there, squirrely locks?
Working hard.
Working hard?
Yes.
Doing what?
Inventory, emails, all that stuff. It's the Christmas rush.
Speaking of which,
Yep.
what are we waiting on for Christmas?
Gina says we are getting all kinds of shipments this week. The
Okay.
hoodie, the blue zip-ups, the regular blue hoodies, gasoline and freedom stuff, and I'm still waiting on a replacement shipment of some blue mugs. So I think I've got about 12 people left that are waiting on a blue mug.
And we're doing away with the mugs.
Well,
We're done.
we had,
no more.
You know, I gave the mugs a try, and about 300 people ordered mugs, and we've had mostly great success, but I did have one case arrive. It was blue mugs. 36 of the 36, 16 of them were broken.
And then some of them that have been shipped have arrived broken.
Only about 4 didn't
There's
make
been
it.
some.
About 4 out of 300 isn't terrible, but I think UPS
Okay.
they drop kick them.
All right, so it's not terrible,
not
but at
terrible.
the same time, there is a
Frustrating.
high percentage of them that we're having to replace,
Yes.
and then some of the replacements show up broke.
Yes.
So we're done.
Yeah, so we tried the mugs.
No
it
more.
wasn't easy.
So if you've got any left in inventory, when they're gone,
They're Christmas gifts.
they're gone.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. That's why I ended up short on blue mugs, is because we had a case arrive broken from UPS.
Nice
It's
job,
one of those-
UPS.
It's one of those things.
Not necessarily our UPS driver. He's good.
We don't know at what point.
Oh, we don't know if it
we
was.
don't know at what point.
So it could have been our UPS guy busted these things.
Or
Is that what you're
whoever-
saying?
or
You're
whoever
just
he
chucking
got
him
it
under
from.
the bus.
No, it could have been when he picked them up from the distribution place. I don't know.
All
But-
we know is we're not selling no more mugs.
No. And
We're done.
what else?
We survived PRI.
Let's talk
Uh-oh.
about, look, my truck. We do have these in stock right now. Will ship in time for Christmas. We have it in sandstone, mint, and we have the t-shirts too.
Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about our experience at PRI?
My knees and hips hurt.
Wait a minute
It
now.
was a lot of walking.
Oh, it was walking. Okay.
Like miles and miles and miles of walking.
Right.
And standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was good.
I seem
got
to be
meet
okay, though.
people and see a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
We got to meet a whole lot of really neat people,
Yep.
A lot of nice people.
Mm-hmm.
We had a whole bunch of people. We had, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 people stop and offer to give us an estimate on painting the 55 Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. That was
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
A lot of people stopping and interested in helping us with future projects.
And events.
That was, wait, what?
Not only projects, but future races. Like
Okay, so
people that own tracks that are like, hey, you know.
right.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'm not
interesting,
sure I want to go back down that rabbit hole. So I was like sitting upstairs last night and I couldn't sleep, and I'm on my phone and I'm typing out classes and rules, and I'm like, you know what? I've done this before. It's not fun.
No.
I don't like it.
No.
I mean,
don't
I
want to be in
used to
charge
like
of
it.
anything.
No.
But if we can help spread the word, that's one thing. But like, I don't want to be in charge of anything.
Nah,
Yeah. No.
we're
no.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we had a really good time.
Yes.
Huge shout out to Nitrous Express,
Mm-hmm.
because that was like a once in a lifetime experience probably for me.
Yeah. That was cool.
After they pushed my Malibu in,
Mhm.
they surely will never invite that car back
Why?
because it's too heavy to push.
Well,
It was
you
terrible.
guys got it in there.
Anyway, and Nolan Jamora, thank you to him and his wife and everybody at ISKI for the opportunity to do the 20 questions.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video of Bill and I answering the 20 questions, just random things off the top of your head, it's pretty funny. And it's over at the ISKI Cams YouTube channel.
Correct.
Yeah. Subscribe, check it out. It was kind of funny.
Also, big shout out to ATM for setting us up in the booth. The carburetor deal,
They were on display.
they had the carburetors on display. That was really cool.
Yep.
Big
Got to
thank you to
see,
Tim and Angela and everybody at ATM.
Yep, we got to see Tim and Angela. That was nice.
Yep.
And I gave them their cookies.
Oh, God.
Did you show everybody the video of the gas pump girl shirt coming off the press?
No, I didn't.
Because they arrived this week, and there's still some online that they can get them for Christmas if they get them.
All right. So the gas pump girl shirts are on their way.
Mm-hmm.
Gina sent me video of them rolling off the press.
Yes,
That's a big deal.
that's a big deal. So,
She's the semi-smoking hot girl that... did you approve that or did I?
I approved it. No, you altered it after I approved it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So those are coming.
Yeah, they're coming, and there's still some online available to purchase. And
They're not sold out yet?
Nope.
Oh,
They're
okay.
still, I mean,
I
they're
thought
close.
they were sold out.
They're close. The gasoline and freedom are pretty much sold out, but the gas pump girl, what's that saying? Your EV?
Leaves more gas for me.
Yes. That one, there's still some available
With the smoking hot chick.
with the smoking hot chick. Yep.
Are we done?
Yes.
All right, guys. So now that the Malibu is back and it's running, I'm turning my sights towards the southern states. I'm thinking about taking it down there someplace and doing a little testing. This weekend's not looking too good weather-wise. It's Friday looks okay down south, but my gosh, I'd have to go clear to Florida to get out of cold weather this weekend. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going anywhere this weekend with it. Probably going to stick around here and do some improvements. I know tomorrow I want to work on the fuel system. I bought that Holley Blue pump today. I bought a return style regulator, the lines and the fittings and everything. And I want to get into that a little bit more in depth tomorrow with the next video that's coming up. Why I'm doing this, I'll get into that in another video. I'm too tired tonight to try and get into details, but we'll show what we're getting ready to do on the Malibu before I go shake this thing down and start making some passes with it on a track. There's Slim chance I may go someplace this weekend, but I highly doubt it. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Everything helps. I greatly appreciate it. So does Vicky. We'll see you all on the next video. Thank you.